Hey everyone, I want to talk about the moment when I learned to bet on myself, because it's one of the most pivotal moments in my entire life. When I climbed Kilimanjaro a third time, which I wrote about in Gorge, my journey up Kilimanjaro at 300 pounds, I was feeling really ready for the trip. I mean, this was a time when I trained, I did a half marathon, I walked it, I did boot camp, and by the time I got to the mountain, I was feeling so strong that by the second day, which is 10 hours of hiking, I felt amazing. And even though people around me were starting to feel sick, I almost felt guilty about how good I felt. But that night, when I went to sleep in my sleeping bag, I started to hear people talking and laughing. And from so many years of struggling with my weight, I knew that they were laughing about me. I was also pretty much verified in this feeling because I started to hear them saying mama kubwa, which is Swahili for big woman, and that's what they called me on the mountain. So here they were laughing, and not in a funny, nice way, but in a really mean way, as if every word that they were saying, even though I couldn't understand it, was tearing me apart. And so this confidence, this training, it didn't matter how ready I was for this mountain, I started to feel like I didn't belong there. I started to doubt everything that I came there for. And I started to come up with a plan of how I could even back out of this challenge. I started to think about how I could make my way back to the bottom of the mountain, go to the hotel, and explain it to everyone that I didn't deserve to belong, didn't deserve to be there. What I learned from this moment is that I had to do something about it. I felt like I was okay by the time I went to sleep because I was exhausted. It was a big hiking day. I fell asleep pretty easily, but the next morning it was still with me. And the thing about Kilimanjaro is that it is such a beautiful example of how you need to deal with things in the moment. If you're cold, you put a jacket on. If you're thirsty, you take a drink of water. And if you're hungry, you need to eat. And if something is bothering you, you need to do something about it right away. And in that moment, that next day, I needed to get it off my chest because I started to notice that as I was hiking, I was stumbling. I was clumsier. I was so less self-assured. I didn't feel as strong as I did the day before. And so when we were finally on a break, I confronted our head guide and I said, "Hey, last night I heard you were talking about me. What were you saying?" And, in a roundabout way, he kind of said, "Well, last night we were talking about how the porters and the guides, they don't think you're going to make it to the top." And I asked him, "Okay, what did you say? Did you make any money bets? Because you should. Bet on me. Bet on me." What you can take away from this moment is having the power and presence to say what you need to say, so that you can move forward. That sometimes carrying this stuff around you doesn't serve you one bit, but you need to stand in your power and tell people what you expect of them so that you both can move forward with clear direction.